What's going on, peeps? There is something quite fascinating about not showing your face. It adds a mystery and curiosity to your brand. Whether intentional or unintentional, it always works. As seen by alt-pop artist BoyWithUke, who rose to fame on TikTok in 2021 by posting short 1-minute ukulele songs he made on his iPad. Uke is credited for creating Uke Pop, that has since drawn inspiration from the likes of Marino. Dollar Store Daft Punk has gone on to attract 7 million TikTok followers and earned viral hits like I Don't Give a Fuck, 2 Moons, and Toxic. Despite the success, there isn't a lot known about BoyWithUke personally, not a lot of interviews. After this interview with Zach Galifianakis, I don't blame him.
Do you have with the mask on?
Just know that everything discussed in this video has been revealed by the man himself. As we all know, BoyWithUke revealed his face for the first time in October 2023, and a year later announced the retirement of this persona to move into a different direction musically. Unlike others, his face was received positively and has led to a whole new wave of admiration. Before Chandel begins this new era, I think it's time we turn back time to see how this unique case of anonymity played out. We'll also take a look at his discography of intimate lo-fi pop with layered vocal harmonies and electronic rhythms. Join me as we walk through the Faceless case of BoyWithUke. Charlie Young was born on August 25, 2002 in Daegu, South Korea. He is currently 23 years old. After leaving South Korea, his family moved to Shrewsbury, Massachusetts. Charlie grew up in a low-income household where the negatives outweighed the positives. No phone, always hungry, had to share a room with his little brother, constant family arguments, and heard his mother sob each night. All while socially he was dealing with a judgmental environment where he was bullied for his voice and struggled to fit in. It got to the point where he was getting physical altercations outside and during school. It had him questioning if his life was worth living. But there was one thing that seemed to follow him and provide hope: music. Charlie was exposed to classical music through lessons in violin, guitar, piano, and music theory at age 4, but quit classes prematurely. Years went by and he was influenced by 21 Pilots, Milky Chance, The Strokes, and Dominic Fike. Young attended Oak Middle School and Shrewsbury High School. At 15 years old, he was part of the soccer team and thought he could go pro. His family moving around a lot led him back to music as a way of therapy and sometimes comedic purposes like the head song. He searched for instrumentals, especially Dominic Fike type beats, and then just wrote a song about it. Charlie had a fascination with rhyming and picked up the ukulele in high school to impress a girl who he later dated for many years. During one date, she showed him a video of her friend playing a ukulele at a talent show, inspiring Uke to learn that instrument. Plus, one class he took introduced him to basic music production using GarageBand on iPads. From there, he produced songs on his iPad in DIY fashion, similar to David using BandLab to make music initially. He uploaded his first song to SoundCloud, Hot Dog, on March 10th, 2019, under the name Uke Baba. From there, he put out sporadic singlets to the platform for the next year and a half. Here's 4 playlists of old SoundCloud releases, some being slow-paced demos for a more polished release in the future. Certainly a raw look into what he'd soon become. All these he had written and recorded in his bedroom, from his sophomore year of high school to his first year at the University of Massachusetts Amherst for economics. They were all kept to himself due to this anxious feeling of embarrassment. It wasn't until his little brother heard them and was rather impressed. Charlie joined TikTok under BoyWithUke in September 2020 after being told by his little brother to perform the songs he wrote there. He didn't aspire to be famous, just wanted to make music as a hobby, so his brother and girlfriend would be the only people who knew his identity at first. Uke would post once a week initially before speeding up the frequency as he got more confident. Soon after, he shared ukulele covers and mashups without showing his face. This was to avoid getting laughed at by his friends in real life. As time went on, he began wearing a solid face mask from Amazon that he later lit up with LED eyes to hide his identity further. Uke didn't gain much attention until 2021, when he began this minute-long song series, as that was the max runtime on the app at the time. He used it as a way to share a preview of what he was putting together, see if an audience enjoys it, and then drop the full song on Spotify. It worked, and his follower base across social media was building up rapidly. Similar to the previous anonymous nature of Marshmallow, a mysterious masked image just does numbers by default. He now had followers suggesting song ideas in the comments. In response, he wrote songs based on those topics. However, in secret, he had an alt account that also commented on his main account, disguised as a fan. It's called BoyWithFootball, that primarily showed off his soccer/football skills. So he was giving himself topics he wanted to talk about. We've seen a similar strategy work for Gale's ABCDFU, having an industry executive leave a comment. This is what would blow up Toxic later on. His first project, Melatonin Dreams, came out on January 22nd, 2021. This served more as a compilation of previously released singles, all being centered around the ukulele with keyboard and drum integrations. As Uke's twangy, deadpan tenor voice croons and raps in a melodic style. As you notice, Uke's first 4 albums all have dreams in their titles, with this one being more on the depressing side. Blurry Nights goes over a bad breakup leaving him miserable. Letter from My Bed sees Uke developing an addiction to laying in his bed and using melatonin to sleep, referring to an overdose later on. Route 9 is inspired by places that remind him of past relationships, similar to a lack of direction after a breakup on Lost, wishing his lover lived closer and 2.9 miles away. Okay, come on bro, 2.9 miles isn't even that far. I can run that way in like 20 minutes. Unable to move on from the past on I Won't Let You Go and Zoning Out, being wrapped around this girl's finger on Galaxy, falling for someone you hardly know but being too afraid to approach them on I Wish, describing how beautiful a girl is on Lovely, literally refusing to touch grass on Nihilist, Just Let Me Go expresses suicidal ideation, wishing his loved ones find peace, where he feels unmotivated on So Cold. While this style of music isn't my thing, doesn't interest me sonically and gets repetitive, plus the lyrics have a miserable I'm 13, this is deep vibe, I get why it worked for others. There is a raw connection that can be made here. He was just starting out after all, clearly being in a bad headspace. As his community grew, he started using Discord to connect with fans, leading to the formation of 4 main servers over time, one of which was shut down. Uke followed up his first project with the True Vile EP, featuring 3 fan favorite tracks from Volume 1 of his minute-long song series, released on March 5th, 2021 with much more fleshed out production. The love struck Falling For You, where I thought my headphones broke during the outro. A nervous dude struggles to tell a girl how he feels I'm tired of wanting you. In Animal Crackers, being inspired by his 8th birthday where nobody showed up. Might as well include this collaboration with a virtually unknown artist, Curio Watts. Small fry, not loved by his fanbase. Following this release, he teased more songs in March like 2 Moons that went viral on TikTok. Users started using the sound and it began a huge trend. Uke would then introduce an important character to the BoyWithUke universe, Toby. This is his inner voice that fills him with self-doubt and low confidence. You'll likely hear his presence in these songs going forward. His second project, Fever Dreams, contained finished 1-minute tracks that came out on June 4th, 2021, tackling topics of low self-esteem and sadness, including better production, a rather laid-back delivery, and pitched-up backup vocals influenced by Black Bear. The record had a great start of streaming momentum, being among the top 10 debuts in the Spotify UK charts during its first weekend. He was quickly building up an audience as the year went on due to his consistency. To be honest, I forgot 2 Moons existed. Very good song, it's a clear standout. It was inspired by a dream of seeing 2 moons in the sky and having to choose which one to follow. The one he chose led him home. Charlie had 2 options, college for economics or music. He chose music and it led him to a place where he felt safe, inspiring his first tattoo. Psycho features a voice in his head, Toby, as he deals with being called psychotic, in comparison to feeling out of mind when his partner left on Out of Tune, keeping to himself and struggling to find love on Shy, getting lost in someone's eyes and hazel eyes. Shocked he's in love on Ha Ha Hi, not much of a fan of that chorus, being exhausted but attempts to keep it pushing on Kind of Sick of Life, in love with a girl but unsure about her true feelings and bad luck, constantly questioning his intentions on Sleep Deprived, feeling misunderstood and helpless on Forget Me. They had a cool synth line. Finally, Bach Choice, struggling to find direction, yet feeling he's close to getting back on track. Following is the Faded EP on September 10th, 2021, featuring more fan favorites from Volume 2 of his minute-long song series. Reconnect with an ex and addressing his health on The Area Lovesick, and encountering unrequited love on the danceable Loafers, with a funky bass line from Sarcastic Sounds. With 800,000 followers to his name by August, it was only a matter of time before BoyWithUke crossed over to the mainstream. It only took one song to change his life forever, to the point he would quit his part-time job as a lifeguard. Teasers racking up tens of millions of views. His breakout single, Toxic, was released on October 29th, 2021. With 2 Moons already getting attention at the same time of his release, Uke's career was about to go to the moon. Every song he teased was going viral. Due to its catchiness, Toxic gained over 100 million streams in its first few months and peaked at number 60 on Billboard's Global 200 chart. it was unable to crack the US Hot 100, only peaking at number 18 on the Bubbling Under. Either way, it was a global sensation, generating 1 billion streams worldwide, and resulted in him being signed to a major label, Republic Records, in late 2021. Clear to see that Uke was building up a strong following online. It's not a shocker that this whole mystery behind the mask became a part of his fanbase. They started looking into Uke archives to discover he used images from his childhood as part of his song covers that revealed his ethnicity. To tease fans, he used his cameraman Jake as a face reveal and mentioned his face appearing in the music video for Understand. Toxic would be certified platinum. It reached number 1 in the Billboard Alternative Airplay chart after 31 weeks, one of the longest climbs in the chart's history. Long Drives was the follow-up single to Toxic on January 21st, 2022, with its collaboration with Black Bear, I Don't Give a Fuck, arriving on March 18th, 2022. It became his first and only charting entry on the Billboard Hot 100, debuting at number 99. That one was also later certified platinum. Looking back though, Uke only made this song to just have another hit to follow up Toxic, and it worked. By April 2022, he had over 12.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify. His performances on Genius went viral too, with people being shocked at how well he sounds without autotune. Heck, his performance of Toxic is the most viewed video on their channel. It wasn't all positivity though. Uke has dealt with some hate in the past. Online music reviewers aren't too fond of him, with some saying besides Colleen Ballinger, he kind of ruined the ukulele. That's pretty cruel, I disagree. People have also dismissed his music as just 13-year-old, this is deep fuckboy rap, underwritten edgy slop. It is what it is, he's a pulverizing act and his music isn't going to be for everyone. All this was leading up to his first major label release through Republic Records, Serotonin Dreams, on May 6, 2022. Originally scheduled for April, but it was delayed by Republic. Like previous releases, it was completely written and produced by Uke on his iPad, with the exception of the features. It debuted at number 72 on the Billboard 200 and number 7 in the alternative rock genre, his first and only entry. He was seen as one of the fastest emerging artists in pop music. Uke toured Europe and North America for the rest of the year to promote his album, and opened for the second half of AJR's OK Orchestra tour. The record goes over a long-distance romance that goes wrong, seeing Uke waking up, focusing on self-realization and more positive values. There's depressing topics here and there though, of course, trying to keep up with a long-distance lover on Far Away, where Long Drives is driving off to see his lover in Boston as he believes his girl won't let him down on Let Me Down, in comparison to a fear of commitment on the MX Tune duet Prairies, getting rejected by your crush on She Said No. The breakup aftermath of Heart of Ice, realizing how poorly he was treated. The Kiss Off collab I Don't Give a Fuck with Black Bear, angrily telling off his ex. Contigo is a collab with Pafu, suddenly wanting to give a fuck and reconcile. However, she is the interested bro. Enjoyed the flow of Understand, detailing his ongoing struggles with relationships, longing, unrequited love, and dealing with anxiety. By the end, he gained some acceptance and closure. But man, that 21 Pilots reference made me smile. Closing out with Scared of the Dark, always being there for someone, in the big hit, Toxic, realizing his friends are stopping him from healing, and he decides to leave them behind to move on, even if it's hard. I think this was an improvement. Quite overhated seeing the negative reception it got. Despite this burst of fame, he was able to live a normal life on Mask for a while. Almost like he's a male Hannah Montana. The pressure hadn't gotten to him yet. At that point, he'd only had a small number of people recognize him in public by his voice, specifically an incident at a Berlin McDonald's where thankfully no photos were taken. So every time someone in public asked for his name, he'd say it was James, knowing he'd likely never see that person again. In between tours, he released Sick of You featuring Oliver Tree on September 30, 2022, and scrapped an EP teaser and TikTok live of Uke signed CDs. The reason is unknown. Something tells me it has something to do with the industry. Basically, Republic Records wanted him to make more songs just like Toxic, to drive clicks and engagement, as well as fulfill his contract advance. This was a process that was destined for burnout. Uke entered a troubling time in 2023, feeling suffocated by pressure. The music industry was a non-stop highway he couldn't easily slow down on, resulting in a lack of stability. This pressure of fast success on TikTok, challenges of making friends, and a desire to focus on creating music he actually enjoys rather than chasing numbers. Uke was booked to do a Roblox concert, dropped the Anti-Social EP on February 24th, 2023, and go on a world tour during the fall, leading up to his next album, Lucid Dreams. The stress can be communicated in the music. Rock stars and artists' realization that they don't desire fame, they just want to be loved, especially after you've achieved that fame. Refusing to let go of a romance on "I Don't Think We Can Be Friends," where the infectious nosedive tackles growing up, losing your childhood innocence, and having to face adulthood. One of my favorite songs from him. Lucid Dreams is the final part of the Dreams saga, released on October 6, 2023, meant to symbolize his desires, fears, past, and dreams. The previously mentioned lead single Rockstar came out on February 10, 2023, with Trauma and Migraine arriving in the fall, featuring 1-minute songs from Volume 4 and 5. This record appears to experiment with bassy, groovy synths and alt-pop with the coveted Uke. Tired of being judged and bossed around by people who think they're superior, seemingly fearing being forgotten on Migraine. Problematic is where a girl Uke believed was the love of his life was actually fake. Story of his life, apparently. Kinda happens on every song, dude. Bad Blood goes over a relationship that no longer works, moving on from an ex and baby doll, being in a state of sadness after a breakup that he pretends to enjoy on Blue. Then he has an out-of-body experience mid-album, a lucid interlude, followed by Bad Things, where he feels so safe with his partner he forgets his pain, hiding his true feelings on Camouflage. Warning if someone still thinks about you while trying to move on with life on Nightmare, that has some cool strings integrated. Trauma is a letter to his past self, detailing his childhood at 10 years old, realizing now he isn't alone. Before I Die sees Uke worry about not accomplishing everything he wants, eventually learning to live in the present and enjoy life. Homesick covers Uke dropping out of college to pursue music, leaving friends behind, but believing it'll be worth it. Quite fitting, but the final song, King of Nothing, goes over a losing passion for making music. After releasing Lucid Dreams, BoyWithUke revealed his face for the first time during the music video for Homesick for a split second. This was later followed by the music video for King of Nothing, where his face is much more present. He confirmed his name as Charlie Young the next day on Instagram. He explained that while the mask once gave him confidence, it was now harming his physical and mental health. He's been through hundreds of custom-made masks throughout the years. When he performed, there was a mic he sewed inside the front, plus a LED wire that connected to a strap hidden around his stomach. Safe to say, the mask smelled terrible very often. He shared plans to continue his music without a mask, saying he had hidden his identity so people could focus on his music, not his looks. Okay, mister, I show off my abs. Yuka wanted to handle it carefully, and learning what happened with Dream's face reveal, chose not to make the video solely about that. Following this revelation, there was speculation his old name, Oak Baba, was being revived as an alt account. This was proven to be false and just a fan impersonating him using the old username. In early 2024, Uke announced that he was independent again, saying he felt limited creatively under a major label. For so long, he made songs to impress both his ex and music executives. Once that pressure was gone, he felt a bit lost, but also free to make mistakes and create however he wanted. He also noted that UMG's new rule banning artists from using their songs as TikTok made it harder for him to promote his music. Many joked that once he took the mask off, the label dropped him as a result. Die-hard fans were happy about this news, as in June 2023, Republic created a new official Discord server after being unhappy with the original one, stripping it of its status. The manufactured server didn't gain much popularity, so the OG server renamed itself Better BoyWithUke Server in Rebellion. Then on April 2nd, 2024, after Uke left his label, the original server was restored as the official one. His final project under BoyWithUke, Burnout, was released on November 15th, 2024 under AWOL Recordings. It was preceded by Can You Feel It, Ghost, and Gaslight. This was also the first time he used an actual guitar as the main instrument instead of a ukulele. Plus, it was produced on a more professional DAW in comparison to GarageBand in his makeshift home studio. What we get is this glitchy, experimental, progressive alt-rock project from Uke. It felt great for him to try out a new style after doing the Uke stuff for his entire career. Unfortunately, this drew away some OG fans. It was not only a breakup album dedicated to, well, you guessed it, his ex, but to his Uke persona, accepting change and letting go. Unfortunately, most of the album was leaked in September, but that didn't stop the record from being his most interesting experiment yet. Can You Feel It sees Uke fight with a masked figure who is revealed to be his newer self. In the final scene, Toby dies and fades away. The lyrics reference older BoyWithUke songs and serve as a raw reflection of his regrets and past, with hopes moving forward. No Uke in sight from what I could tell, just a pulsating bass groove, bringing us to Burn, heading into rock territory, his struggle with fame, leading to Burnout. Even his biggest critics can't hate this next one, Ghost. Regretting not sharing his feelings, getting lost in imagined memories, and longing for a fading, hopeless romance. the first song he created with a live drummer, Aaron Sterling. Beautiful switch up towards the end. Gaslight is an explosion of raw guitar and drum patterns, following a toxic relationship that Charlie eventually leaves, feeling pain and resentment, even confessing to sleeping with her sister. The trap-infused Stranger is taken from a time of hooking up with random people online, which wasn't good for him. Also a result of how people acted differently after face revealing, some reaching out with shady intentions. In comparison to loving someone only interested in the physical side of the relationship on the chaotic backseat, where Coffee explores Uke being censored and dumped by his label, leading to him hating the craft of music, telling him lies to make him feel better, as well as girls questioning if he's on the spectrum. Ouch. Then there's the anti-war paper Planes, and Petrichor interlude regretting and longing for a lost relationship. Pitfall includes a mysterious future, Chandel, fearing future dangers of love, feeling hopeless at first and realizing it's all in his mind, and Corduroy, feeling like his home is now his grave on a love lost, struggling to move on from past relationship on easier, ending strong, outgrowing his old BoyWithUke persona and accepting change. Uke embarked on the Burnout World Tour during the first half of 2025, where he became more comfortable on stage, even taking his shirt off. He even had a conversation with himself.
Do you have sex with the mask on?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Charlie stated in numerous interviews he will now go by the stage name Chandel, which was his legal name until he changed it at 7 to fit in with Americans. He has stated that the mask will likely return, but he wants to explore new music-making ideas with a different style, approach, and name. It's going to be more personal, organic, and honest than what he was originally making, especially during the major label era. He also plans to release songs that were previously blocked by his label. In late May, Charlie accidentally showed a Dropbox folder called Daydream Demos, but later clarified in the last Boy With Balls stream that it's not called Daydreams, even some fans are still claiming it is. It would be simply titled B-Sides, and it came out on September 5th, 2025. As you can tell, being faceless has been a gift and a curse. It added an intriguing sense of mystery and aura to his brand, but at the cost of deeply damaging his ability to form new relationships. Sometimes even just being in the same room as one of his masks fills him with dread, like a result of the pressure of protecting his identity and the difficult experiences tied to both it in public and within the industry. Charlie has even shown signs of hating his biggest songs, but he can't deny he's grateful for them. They changed his life. When times got hard, he looked through a folder filled with screenshots of kind and meaningful comments from his fans. I'm sure whatever Charlie has next for us will be ambitious and cinematic. He does have the aspiration of being part of the film industry one day, which you can see by his recent music videos. For now, we'll let Chandel cook and take on the world for a second time. BoyWithUke may not be an artist I typically enjoy, but I respect him for creating his own lane and genre for a unique experience. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like it, subscribe and like for more based content. I'll see you on the next one. Be sure to love all, and peace.
Thank you.